It was really important for us to perform, to be able to put in a performance after internationals returning that we can build off. We wanted to attack. We wanted to score goals in our last regular season home game. We wanted to win. I thought it was a very dominant performance the first 80 minutes before their wave of pressure there near the end. Fantastic, the dominant performance, but we didn't score. I think we got enough on target. But as usual on the storyline, our defense was excellent, fantastic for 99.9% of the game. Gave them a couple of looks near the end. I'm really proud of that every player buys into the culture of us being hard to beat. Everyone attacks on our team. Everyone defends from when we're building up with our back line or when we're pressing with our forwards. Everyone's responsible. And the reason I think we've been able to put that record together is because, we've defended superbly like we have in other years, but we've also attacked much better, and we've been better when we finish the attack or lose the ball to be able to sustain the attack. It's a lot of work from a lot of people to go in, and I'm proud of the group pulling that off.
Thank you. We'll go into questions here. Grant Little, go ahead.
Hey, Mark, hope you're doing well. Today, Yaz got her first start and she went the full 90. I know your hand was maybe forced a little bit with some injuries. We've seen her mostly coming off the bench as an 8. And I was wondering today, what did you see from her about her progression through the season and maybe what differentiates her in that role?
Yeah, I saw her as a little bit of a nervous start. And I said to her after the game, the most important part about the next few years for all players, but especially a player joining a club like this, coming out of college, is mindset. It's developing the mental skills to be able to sustain any challenge. And tonight she showed a fantastic mentality. That was the part I was most proud of. Because of her nervous start, and I think the game can go two ways. She only grew. She only got better. She had more influence with and without the ball. Yeah, and we're seeing a bit like Rocky last year, a bit like Sophie Weaver last year. You're seeing 5 or 6 out of 10 of her. You're not seeing anything of what she's going to be capable of, but you can't skip these steps. You have to take these steps, and Yaz is taking them. I'm glad that she showed a great mindset, grew, and got better throughout the game.
Thank you. We'll go next to Caitlin Best.
Hey, Mark, I noticed that you had one forward stay back and mark their fullback on the strong side when you were in defense. And I'm just wondering what the reasoning behind that was.
Yeah, it was about space. The game is about space and time, and we wanted certain spaces, but we also wanted to deny them certain spaces. So you look at McDonald and Williams, their biggest threat is in behind. We wanted to make sure that space wasn't there, but they get there through their 10s. And we also wanted to encourage them to leave the spaces that they've been leaving throughout this year. When their backline has time on the ball, they get bigger. And when you win it, you have a lot of space to exploit, which you saw, I think, multiple times through the first half. Didn't quite take advantage of those counterattacks. We did it away from home against them, had great success and scored a goal from a similar position and spacing. It helps us defensively, but also provides, we feel, a bit more space in the attack against this opponent. And that's, for us, how we look at everything. Where is the spaces that we want, that we can exploit, or the opponent's weaknesses, but also how do we control the spaces that the opponent wants?
Thank you. We have a writing question here from Melina Gaspar. The question is, what will be the main focus on the following days, knowing the Thorns don't have to play the quarterfinals?
Yeah, this is a very exciting period and very important period for us. Whenever we've had time to train and prepare, we've always made the most of it, and we've always performed well. And it's been a challenging year, just the whole schedule. Not for every team, it's been a challenge, but this hasn't been the most the most friendly schedule for us. And we've had the least amount of training days, consecutive training days building into games than we have in other years, just the way it's landed. Our normal rhythm is trained 4 times before a game day. We've had that, I think, under 50% of the season, which is strange. So now we get that building up to a training game next week. And then we get that building into the important semi-final. Cannot wait for this period. Pre-season, I remember when you're asking me, was 9 weeks too long? And kind of wished it was longer. When we work together, we love it. We love the work. We love the journey. We love the process. Can't wait to get everyone back onto the same page after international duty and be fully prepared for a big semi-final at home.
Thank you. We'll go back to Caitlin.
I'm just wondering if you could reflect a little bit on your last 5 years, I believe, in Portland. And when you look at the last 2 years, which have been strange for all kinds of reasons, do you feel at all like you kind of got shortchanged and you wish that you would have had an opportunity to just have like a normal season as your final season here in Portland? Or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's I understand the way you've asked. I've enjoyed 6 wonderful years. Specifically the first 3 years, you saw exactly the vision that this club, that the owner, the GM, and the staff had, and why they took a risk and a gamble on me. They gave me probably one of the best gifts that I've ever had in my professional career, and they gave me, which was an opportunity. And after the first 3 years, I think you saw a team in transition in 19. And what we realized at the end of that was we were just getting a little bit messy in our vision. And what I was getting complacent. I wasn't as clear and held people, myself and others, accountable to what we said we were going to be. And at the end of 19, we promised that we were going to launch into a new era, build a team that's going to be set up for success for a minimum of 5 years. At first, I think everyone was probably questioning and scratching their head at that process, because players moved on, a lot of players come in, a lot of young players came in. And here we are seeing 2 years, disrupted years for different reasons. But what you saw in 2020 is the making of what was possible this year. Not only have we been the best team so far with work to do, but we've done it in a way, in a style, with our culture and how we are as people and how we support and behave and how we work, but also in our style of play. And that's where the vision started. We wanted to make sure our foundation was culture, team first culture, but we wanted to play football the way that hadn't been played in this league, with and without the ball. And we're doing that. But we've still got work to do. We've got to improve this next couple of weeks, preparing for the semi-final, and we're going to absolutely put everything into that. So I love every moment. This year or this day or this week isn't possible without last week or last year. It's been interesting for any player or staff being a leader over the last 2 years in this period. I think if you've been able to hold it together and lead during this period, you could probably lead anywhere, anytime, because it's been tough. But we're all here doing that for a reason, and we've been blessed with the opportunity to support others, be there for others, and take care of others through some of the hardest times, not just in our job, but last year with COVID, that's brand new for the world. And we really wanted to set a standard of how to take care of ourselves and be smart with all the protocols, and make sure we set an example for everyone else, here in Portland, but across the States. I felt like we've done that. We've set a standard on and off the field, and whether you win or lose or trophies or not, that's always the most important. Can people look at us? Can we look at them and say we've given everything and lifted to a new level? We have, and as a byproduct, we got some wonderful trophies, chasing the big ones still, and knowing that we got to improve to be able to reach our goal.
Thank you. Last question will go to Grant.
Mark, it was just announced that Angela Salem was named the Supporter Player of the Year. I was wondering if you could just talk about that, your thoughts.
I'm not sure what the company is. I don't want to say it because in England it's different, but a glue company, a famous glue company, but maybe we can hit them up and she could be the lead sponsor, because she's been our glue. She's critical. You saw her tonight trying to chase Dabinia around and shutting her down at just crucial moments, Dabinia being forced into wide areas, and now the fullbacks are pissed because they have to try and deal with Dabinia. She's so good on the ball, so good off the ball. And as I've said, she's been one of our best and most important players when we play well. But when the team hasn't been its best, she's also played unbelievably well. She's our glue. She's a warrior. I think she should be the MVP for the end of herself season. Not just in her performances, but it's also about how she is, how she leads by example, and the influence she has on and off the field. She's learning to be a coach at the moment. She does a lot with the PA. She does a lot in our team. super talented midfielder. And also in this country, you don't see many players like this. And I understand, I get it. The ones who make the save or score the goal, the ones who often get the limelight. Soccer is about the brain. Soccer is about thinking and scanning and perception, space, time, opponent, and dominating space and time. That's Angela Salem. She is often 2-3 pages ahead of everyone. And I know it's not normal. We in this country we don't often value that type of player, but that's how this sport has been built. That's how this sport is played at the very highest level. And we've been fortunate to have her here, playing her best football of her career. Yes, it was exciting, and the players were asking for one more year out of her, which we've been doing for a few years now. So let's see if we get our way.